Hello, folks, it's Slipshod. Welcome back to another episode of my solo play of Skyblock Infinite. Right off the bat, yes, look around, there has been some pretty major changes around here. I have been a very busy boy between episodes. As you might be able to tell from my shiny new armor and tools here, the villager trading business has been a swimming success. I spent so long getting our villager population increased, waiting for children to grow up, and getting the adult villagers safely tucked away in their spots. I'll be honest, I only had the patience to do the first floor for now, but I do have a plan for the top floor. I just need a bit of time to get that into motion. In the meantime, we did get the entire first floor stocked with traders, and some pretty great deals to show for it. Though, like any true businessman, I did have to compromise on some moral standards. You might remember in the last episode, we built a string duper here, and I said something along the lines of,
I will admit, relying on a bug to duplicate string for me does feel a little cheap. I think I'm only going to use this for our current project, and then after that, maybe try to figure out a better spider farm.
And true to my word, I did tear down the farm. But then I might have noticed shortly afterward that fishermen offer emeralds for string. So, yay, capitalism! I might have moved it to be just behind the villager trading hall, with a hopper line that feeds it inside. But at least we have this cute pathway leading back to it. All the string from that farm outside gathers up in a double chest right here at the end of the hallway. We can just go down the line of fishermen that all have the string trade. Easy way to make emeralds. And that's been my primary emerald income this whole time. Is it too cliche for a cat to only sell string? And thanks to all the trading I've been doing while landscaping outside, I have an abundance of emeralds, which I have been using to get maximum trades on all these villagers. I started with a Fletcher, but quickly realized that the fishermen are going to be a much better option, and then got a few farmers just so I can get those sweet, sweet golden carrots. I got a few of them maxed out so that I could have an ample supply of golden carrots, and on this side we have masons galore, with trades all the way up to master for some of them, so I can get those quartz blocks with the signs above their heads that tells me what terracotta they are now offering. And I do have a master list over here just so I know how many more options I need to get. And finally, on the far side, we have our toolsmiths, our armorers, and our weaponsmiths, just so we can gear up with the best diamond armor. Though I will admit some of these enchantments are a little lacking for my tastes. But we have combined a few together to make some pretty solid tools, at least to get us started. Some of which I've repaired a little more recently than others. My only requirement for villagers on this side is that they trade iron, and unfortunately that's not something you find out on their first trade. All of these ones have a nice iron trade locked in, except for this one, which occasionally does lead to some awkward moments. Something tells me we'll have a vacancy real soon. And thanks to those armorers that we have, we did get a good set of diamond armor as well, with a couple nice enchantments that are really going to help. But these feather falling shoes are going to be a lifesaver. Of course, it did require some combining. I have just spent enough time working with these mobs for now. I'm ready to work with some others. And all the grass we have around has definitely answered my calling. If you're not familiar with how animal spawning works, I'll do my best to break it down now. Basically, if you're in a biome that can spawn passive mobs like cows and sheep, you have a small chance of generating them wherever you have grass. And the fact that I have spread my grass so far and wide has led me to get quite a few mobs around. Of course, there are some limitations with how many mobs you can have around, and you can do stuff to minimize that, such as giving them a name tag or putting them into a boat. Or once you have an ample supply of them, you can always just rely on the old-fashioned methods of just taking them out. And just like that, delicious pork chops. Now, don't worry, that wasn't our original pig from last episode. I did manage to get quite a few around, including a variety of other animals. We now have pigs, cows, rabbits, and even a few sheep ready to be made into a flock. We did also capture over by the door a couple other friends to keep us company that I thought you all might enjoy watching me get to tame. Unfortunately, they are the same old vanilla wolf skin that we've always had, but you know what? I won't complain about just a bit more company. And thankfully, we have plenty of bones thanks to our mob farm. All we need to do is give a few of them here. Oh, first try even. And how about you? Oh, only 2 for that one. That means we were destined to be friends. And look at those lovely red collars. F3 and B to sneak on those hitbox borders, and let's get them out of these cages. There we go. And actually remember to turn it off this time. But now we have 2 new dog friends that we can have guarding either side of our door. Aren't you 2 good doggies? You can each have some meat. Aw, you 2 get some sleep. Probably time for me to do the same. As we head inside here, I'm gonna show off, we did get 2 other animals that I had to keep inside due to the foxes we also had spawning around. Unfortunately, I didn't save any of those as they have been just a bit of a pest in trying to keep chickens alive. For now, I'm keeping them inside just to make sure they stay safe until I can make a pen. And like I said, our original pig will hold a special place with us as he can join us at our dinner table. And a big thank you to Steve R6? I'm not sure exactly how it's pronounced, but for our great pig name suggestion of Sir Hamilton. That definitely seems like an honorable name for a pig fit to sit at our table. I'm just gonna hop up to bed, but while I do, I'm gonna throw back to one clip of another guest that we had while I was fixing up the island a bit. Let's check that out now. In between trading with villagers, I have also just been spreading our grass, and I had a few boats around to catch a few miscellaneous animals when I did notice another guest of ours that has showed up. Unfortunately, it also showed up with a fox, which killed a chicken that we had in this box here. But we do have a wandering trader, and I may have already done a little peek at what trades he has to offer. Inside here, we have our first sapling available. We have jungle saplings. I'm going to go ahead and buy those now, and that is going to give us 8 of them, which will be enough for 2 large trees. I cannot wait to get these things built and finally have some new access to some new wood types, even if it is just jungle wood. And just like that, we've got a bit more variation to our palette. So that's a nice little upgrade, isn't it? As you can see out the window, I have expanded it and got a bit more jungle wood harvested that I have been stashing up in our wood box, giving us just shy of 4 stacks. I don't have any immediate plans of where I'm going to use it, but it is definitely nice to have just a little more wood variation. I'm sure I will find a place for it soon enough. I think we've spent enough time with villagers though. I think it's time we grab this obsidian and this flint and steel and make our way out to the Nether. I scouted out a little spot for it that I think will do us just fine. If we come on down by our iron farm, which, by the way, has been working very well, I might add. If we come just beneath the stairs, I have put together a little space that I think will work perfect for putting our Nether portal down. All we have to do is just get rid of the torches and build up 3 on either side. And then all we need to do is get our flint and steel in our hand and light it up. We have the portal up and running. I'll admit I'm a little bit of a chicken when it comes to the Nether, So I'm gonna go ahead and grab a chest that I can put my stuff in, just in case the other side turns out to be as unforgiving as I suspect it might be. So we have that chest in place. I'm gonna go ahead and put all my diamond gear inside, as well as this other miscellaneous stuff that I just don't want to drop, and take just these last bit of things that are gonna keep us a little safer in the Nether. I'm gonna put on my gold to not upset the piglin, and just this leather tunic I have that has some fire protection to keep us a little safer in case we have anything that wants to throw fire at us. Of course, I do want to keep my bow as well to protect us from anything that wants to get too close. With that, I think that's everything we need. No more excuses. Let's just go. Don't die, don't die, don't die. And we're here. We are here in the Nether. Oh. And it looks like there's an island right behind us. And it has red vines. That's going to be so useful. First, I want to make this platform a little safer. Give me just a moment. Alright, so that's a platform a little bit bigger, a little bit safer, and there is a little bit of obsidian here that I do want to steal, being I have this diamond pickaxe. Give me just a moment while I snatch that back. There are some content creators who are going to want to shield their eyes. Whoops, we lost one. Alright, so they've been successfully harvested. Minus that one that fell into the void. But I guess even voids need to eat too. I think first order of business, we need to head over to this Crimson Forest and take a look at that tree they have. Oh, that made me nervous. Every little sound they make scares me. We do have our golden boots on. Just checking to make sure. By the way, I'm so sorry if it's hard to see in this world. I'll try to figure out something to make sure we can see a little bit better. I can just imagine the way YouTube's rendering is destroying the quality of this video. Alright, so we've made it to the red vines at least. Let's go ahead and circle these to make sure we collect at least a few of them. And I believe I should be able to just punch it. Unfortunately not. We do need to go get a set of shears. Let me just run back and get that now and make sure we have everything we need to properly harvest these resources. We have grabbed some more slabs, some shears, some bone meal, and even an iron hoe to let us be able to harvest the shroom lights in there. Let's just get back inside now. Alright, we are back. In my least favorite place. Let's just get this taken care of. And there we go. We get our first piece. For now, just to get more of it going, I'm going to place it right here on the bottom just to keep it spreading and get us a bit more. For now, I believe if I just place this here, I should be able to climb up on top of this. And just like that, we've made our way up here. And with some very temporary allies. Though I do think I need to find a way to just encourage him to move along elsewhere, maybe. Whoops. How'd that happen? How about you move along as well, friend? I'd like to harvest. For instance, we do have this mushroom, which I would like to collect. That mushroom that we harvest will allow us to grow more of these types of trees. And that's our first piece of crimson stem. Let's go ahead and try to take out a bit more of this. I would also like to take these little red pieces as well. I think all these spaces would be able to spawn hoglins, so I want to get them covered just to keep us safe. I'd like to be able to come back and harvest this mycelium in the future. The crimson biome isn't the worst one to have, as there are some nice farms that we could make from it, but it's not my favorite one to start with. Those hoglin can be a pretty tough enemy if you're not expecting it. We'll just have to make sure that nothing can spawn. But we have this completely covered here. We should be able to harvest up a little bit of the netherrack. In fact, we could probably go a little further with it. Come to think of it, I'm not entirely sure you need netherrack to plant it. Let's try it on just a slab. Oh, perfect. That's going to work just as well. In fact, why don't we go ahead and take back these pieces we have. I think I'm actually going to just take down the whole island in an abundance of caution. I'm going to leave that top mycelium part, though, just so I can come back and collect it later. And there we have it, one island cleared. I'm going to go ahead and just put a few of these here, just in case we ever lose them in the future. We can come back and get these. In tearing everything down, I might have made one other discovery. I do have shaders that I have toggleable on my keyboard that I use for typically just my thumbnails or making a couple time lapses look a little bit better. I notice if I activate it here in the Nether, it does take away some of this nether fog. Let's just go ahead and do that now. As you can see right behind me, it looks like there is a bastion off in the distance that I would not have seen otherwise. I will admit, I don't think I'm quite at the point where I could handle a bastion, but it's nice to at least know it's there. As well, it does look like off in this direction we have a soul sand valley, and one other block out that direction that at the moment, I can't quite tell what it is. I'm actually somewhat embarrassed to admit that I've never properly done a bastion run, especially in a Skyblock world. I'm sure that's a very different experience, but that's something we'll get to in another episode. For now, the best bet is going to be checking what biomes we have nearby and seeing if we have any that are going to be conducive to building a gold farm. The best biome to try to build that in is just going to be a nether wastes. I will admit I was hoping that there would be a fortress within sight, but looks like we didn't get quite so lucky. We can definitely find one, it's just gonna take a bit of time. Thankfully, in a solo world, time is all you have. So let's just make this platform a little bit more comfortable and this area a little more like home. And for my own sake, I do like to denote where 00 is, just to have a good marking. I have acknowledged it here with these double wide cobblestones and the torch for now. Let's pop back over to the overworld and drop off some of the goodies we got from in the Nether already. It's always so nice to be home. And the shaders make it look so much nicer, but not really necessary in the overworld. There's just something about that vanilla Minecraft charm, or at least mostly vanilla. Let's just make even more of a mess in this container. This stuff should be enough to keep us going in the Nether, and I did promise this would be the episode for it. Let's get back. Great, we're here. Let's just keep expanding. I know, I keep saying that we're gonna get away from cobblestone at some point, but it's just so abundant. We're just gonna have to put up with it for now. There we go, shaders making it a little bit nicer. And of course we should check on what biome we're in. Just in case you don't know, you can open that by hitting F3 and looking right here. It'll tell you what biome you're in. And it looks like we've already found our nether wastes. Hopefully, it's going to be big enough for us to make a farm. It shouldn't be any problem. So I went out in each direction from 00 by just a stack of slabs to see if I was able to reveal any more structures. And other than a ruined portal out the way behind me, nothing else seemed to show up. It does look like we have plenty of nether waste though, so we may be able to get working on a gold farm this episode after all. I think it might be best for us to start getting things together to whip up a little farm for us here and now. While taking care of a bit of that and fleshing out the platform here, I'm also just going to be harvesting these red vines behind us to make sure we can get down levels if we need to. I'm just going to chop off a few of those now and get to work. I'll let you know if anything exciting happens along the way. Something exciting happened along the way. Hey folks, Future Slip here. Unfortunately, it looks like the replay footage that I was going to use in the next part of the episode got corrupted and I wasn't able to figure out how to salvage it. So sorry about that, but I think I covered it pretty well in the recap I had right afterwards. I'm gonna just jump back into our world. I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out. We live and learn, I guess. Sorry about that interruption. Let's jump back into it. We have made a nice little nether hub that is going to help us keep our bearings whenever we come to this dimension. As well, thanks to that iron farm and the mason villagers I set up in between episodes, we managed to make out just a nice little palette here of the red bricks, the diorite, and the stone. As well, a little bit of accents of the iron, including the see-through floors, just to add that little bit of a spooky factor. I have been passing the time in between building with doing a bit of harvesting of those crimson vines behind us. I can go back and show you how I've been doing that now. I've expanded the platform over to it and made just a lot more space for crimson vine to grow. If you start at one side, crouch down, and just work your way straight across, you can harvest all the crimson vine with very little effort. And once you have the whole line harvested, you can just walk along and pick them all up. It's easy as that. I would love to automate it a little bit in the future, but I'm gonna have to wait until we get a bit more redstone first. I've been storing the excess in a little box over here. We will need one piece though to work on that gold farm. On the opposite side of our hub, I do want to go ahead and start putting that gold farm together, being there is plenty of nether waste out this direction. And in case you don't know, our mob spawning rates are going to be much better if they are down at the bottom of the world. Thankfully, with this crimson vine, we can get down there much easier. I did make a little notation here of where I want to get it started to give us enough space in between here and spawn, but this should be a good enough area to get that gold farm built. I'm gonna just leave this little chest of stuff I don't want falling into the void. And let's get to work on building out now. We don't want to go too far away since we do want to make it easy to access. But once we get to the point we want to go down, I like to just make a little circle to make it a little safer. And then just build up a few slabs here. Drop back down. And add one more on the top. Of course, making sure we're keeping a lower slab on both sides. Now all we have to do is attach our crimson vine and give it some bone meal. Once you have those vines going all the way down to the bottom, it's time to just trust yourself and start riding them down. You can always hold shift if you need to stop along the way, but I want to make sure to get as close to the edge as I can. Now I do want to save a little bit of space for myself, so I'm going to go ahead and just put it right here. Let's see what level we wound up at. Level 5, that should do. And now that we are down here, I'd like to do just as we did up top and surround this. And I'm going to go ahead and just smack off this piece and make it a little platform. Nothing quite says comforting like being at the bottom of the world, huh? This platform should do us nicely. Now, all I need to do is gather up those last few materials for this gold farm, and we can start the time lapse. Let me run over and get that together now. Wow, that's crazy. That was so fast. I definitely didn't spend far too long shearing leaves off spruce trees in the other world. But we have everything we should need right here in this chest. In fact, some of it in a bit of abundance. It's already gotten pretty late into the episode, so let's just get right into that time-lapse build. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Well, we've done it again. We've made ourselves a lovely little gold farm that will hopefully give us plenty of gold for us to use in piglin trading in the future. That's something that I'm probably going to get taken care of in between episodes, but it is nice to have plenty of supplies for it when the time comes. There is one thing that I do notice we are going to have to change. I noticed a bit of an oversight when putting down the mine carts here. We are going to have to just take out this trapdoor, and in its place, I'm going to put a cobblestone slab down, but we need to make sure we destroy that railing first. As well, I did put a few hopper minecarts in there just to make sure they're going to be able to pick up all the drops we get. It should be just as simple as placing a slab over this hopper, and that should cover us. You might notice my inventory is very empty just in case this all goes wrong. All we should have to do is get our bow out and take a shot at a zombified piglin from either side. There we go. Looks like they're coming. Now, guys, I will warn you, it's about to get loud. Perfect. We have zombified piglins coming in from all directions. All we should have to do is AFK here, and we will have all the gold we can wind up with. And a bit of experience, too. We should be getting a lot more of it. I'll play with it a little in between episodes and see if I can't come up with a better way of getting that XP. Everything these guys are dropping should be collecting down here in these chests. As you can see, we are getting plenty of items. I think that's been a pretty successful day. Let's go ahead and head up before the sound of those zombie piglins drive me crazy. This farm will be perfect for AFKing in between episodes. But folks, that's gonna be all the time we have for today. I hope you were able to enjoy watching me take on the Nether and make a couple upgrades for ourselves along the way. Having access to the crimson wood, the jungle wood, and now the gold down below us is going to open so many fantastic doors. As well as having this lovely Nether hub that is going to make just the perfect base camp for setting out to find the Nether fortress. I really hope you all will join me next time when we head out over the Nether in order to find that fortress. Having that access to blazes and the blaze rods they'll drop will finally let us finish off that guild trading hall that we made in the overworld. We do still have a whole second floor that we are going to need to fill with villagers, and I have just the profession in mind. I'm sure some of you can guess. As always, I love all the comments and support that you all have been leaving me down in the comment section. It really helps me know what you guys are liking and what you want to see me do in the future. As always, please feel free to give me any thoughts you might have. I'll be honest, a subscribe would really help out the channel too if you haven't already. But no pressure. And of course, the warmest of welcomes to the Honorable Sir Hamilton. Thank you again for those amazing name suggestions. It was so hard to choose. Maybe if you're feeling froggy, you could leave a suggestion for these two doggos we have outside. I don't know about you all, but with the sun rising, it feels like a whole new day is dawning, and I am so excited for what tomorrow will bring. As always, have a wonderful rest of your day. Always try to remember to be the good in it. I'll catch you all in the next episode. Goodbye for now!